Here's more wrestling news for January 10th, 2023, and we're starting off with Money in the Bank, which this year will take place in the UK, marking the first time the show has happened outside of the United States. Given that this year's show will take place in London, expect plenty of references to the UK, and that could include a new King and Queen. Zero News is reporting that right now the plan is for the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring finals to take place at Money in the Bank, after a tournament which would play out on TV. If the finals do happen at Money in the Bank, then that will mean plans for a standalone King of the Ring Premium Live event, which was rumored just a few months ago, have been scrapped. Of course, anything can happen between now and July, but fans in the UK may see a pair of coronations, in addition to two superstars become Mr. and Miss Money in the Bank later this year. The July 1st Premium Live event will happen at the O2 Arena in London, England, an impressive, albeit smaller than usual venue for WWE, and there's a reason behind WWE's choice of location. A source told Fightful Select that while WWE typically hosts its Big Five events in stadiums, the decision for the smaller O2 Arena guarantees the show will sell out. That same source said that WWE is treating the O2 Arena as the Madison Square Garden of England, and that it has been a collaborative effort to obtain the venue for Money in the Bank. It wasn't too long ago that it was reported that WWE would be scrapping Money in the Bank and having the two ladder matches at WrestleMania instead, but another source said that this was never seriously considered. Now, WWE will prove the importance of Money in the Bank as one of their biggest events of the year by holding it in London, and after the success of Clash at the Castle, expect tickets to go fast for the hotly anticipated UK event. Since last July, WWE has brought back many names released under Vince McMahon's regime, with stars including Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt, Karrion Kross, and Dakota Kai all returning. There's no shortage of names WWE could re-sign, but one name is officially back under contract. Fightful Select reports that Chelsea Green isn't just returning, but she's already re-signed with WWE and has been for quite some time. Green is back but hasn't returned on WWE TV yet, as she is waiting on an idea from creative, but the clues indicating a return have been around for a while. Last month, Green closed her OnlyFans account, which was likely earning plenty given what we know of Mandy Rose, and the Major Wrestling Figure podcast, which is co-hosted by her husband Matt Cardona, has limited the amount of Chelsea Green merch they sell. When Fightful asked Green about her status, she declined to say if she is under a WWE contract, but it's just a matter of time before we see her back on our screens. At NXT Deadline 1 month ago today, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston captured the NXT Tag Team Championships, the very first time that the New Day have held these particular titles. Since then, though, the pair have had just one title defense, an odd mood for babyfaces who have always been fighting champions, and there's an unfortunate reason for this. PW Insider has learned that Xavier Woods is banged up and not 100% cleared to compete, which is why we haven't been seeing him or the New Day in the ring. The expectation backstage is that Woods will be cleared in time for the Royal Rumble, if not earlier, and he has still been making WWE live event appearances, working in the corner of Kofi. It was at the December 27th live event that WWE did an angle where Woods was shown attacked backstage by Imperium to explain to the crowd in Atlanta why he wouldn't be competing. Hopefully Woods won't be out for long, and the WWE Universe is still waiting for the return of Big E, and we are wishing both New Day members a speedy recovery. The last time fans saw Edge in the ring, he was losing an I Quit match to Finn Balor at WWE Extreme Rules after the Judgment Day threatened to demolish his wife Beth Phoenix. Since then, there have been reports of Edge's return and the continuation of his feud with Balor, but that hasn't happened yet. According to a new report from Fightful Select, Edge should have been back any week now, though plans for his return have changed. They report, Edge hasn't officially returned to WWE since his latest absence started, but the company already had some plans in order for him months ago. Fightful Select has learned that as of late November, WWE had Edge penciled in for the first couple of PLE events of the year. As Fightful Select had reported on a Q&A show upon his hiatus, the working plan was for Edge to take on Finn Balor upon his return to pick up their long-running feud, with WrestlingNews.co reporting that they'd be competing at the Royal Rumble. Edge's limited dates was a factor in the rivalry being spread out. We can also confirm WrestlingNews.co's report that as of that point, ahead of Survivor Series, it was scheduled to be a Hell in a Cell match. However, it's not just Edge that was planned for the Elimination Chamber PLE in February. Again, as of November, the tentative plan was for Edge's wife Beth Phoenix to be involved in the Montreal event, teaming with Edge to take on Rhea Ripley and Finn Balor. It's worth noting that several of the plans that were on the books have been moved up, scrapped, or changed, which can always happen, and these matches can't be considered official until WWE officially announces it themselves. It was last summer that Edge teased that this year will be his last year in wrestling and that he plans to retire, this time on his own terms, the next time WWE comes to his native Toronto. If that is still Edge's plan, then he only has a few premium live events left, and we'll have to wait and see when the rated R superstar steps back in the ring. For weeks, there has been speculation on Kylie Rae's status with WWE after the popular indie star competed on a taping of WWE Main Event. Rae was able to hold her own in the match and even got a WWE name, Brianna Rae, but this isn't a sign of a deal yet. Fightful Select reports that despite her appearance and ring name, and despite receiving a WWE tryout, Kylie Rae is still a free agent at this time. Now that doesn't mean she'll never be signed to a WWE deal, just that it hasn't happened yet, and the future remains bright for one of AEW's original women. For 30 years, Chris Jericho has worked in countless promotions throughout his career, the most prominent of which being WWE, WCW, and AEW. In addition to these three, Jericho has competed for ECW, Smoky Mountain Wrestling, and New Japan, and has now added yet another company to his resume. This past weekend, Jericho made his debut for PWG alongside the entire Jericho Appreciation Society and was victorious in 10-man tag team action. Jericho, Daniel Garcia, Sammy Guevara, Matt Menard, and Angelo Parker defeated Jonathan Gresham, Evil Uno, SB Kento, Michael Oku, and Kevin Blackwood, with Jericho getting the pin on Blackwood. Jake Hager, Ty Mello, and Anna Jay all watched on from ringside, and post-match, Jericho said that PWG is this generation's ECW. Whether Jericho competes for PWG again, that remains to be seen, but even after over 30 years in the wrestling business, the former world champion is reaching new milestones. This marked Jericho's debut for PWG, but Daniel Garcia is a regular for the company and is also the reigning PWG world champion. While Jericho was the star of this 10-man tag team match, Garcia got a lot of attention as well, but not the kind of attention you'd probably want. When a fan tried to greet Garcia, the AEW star's heel persona got the best of him, leading to him shouting and kicking the fans who were at ringside. A clip of Garcia's behavior immediately went viral as fans debated whether this was just a good heel or whether Garcia crossed a line. While some fans suggested that this was okay, as wrestlers like Stone Cold, Triple H, and others have gotten physical with fans before, it's worth remembering that these incidents happened when a fan invaded the ring, something the fans at PWG did not do. Garcia may be the PWG World Champion, but he's still contracted to AEW, and we're wondering what Tony Khan, his boss, will make to his conduct at last weekend's event. Now, it wasn't too long ago that Becky Lynch played Cyndi Lauper in an episode of Young Rock, and now the former Raw Women's Champion is back in the role. On Instagram, Lynch showed herself on the set of Young Rock back in her Lauper attire and confirmed to her followers that she is back in the role. Lauper's connection to wrestling came thanks to Captain Lou Albano, who played a father in the music video for Girls Just Wanna Have Fun, and the legendary manager convinced the pop star to appear for the WWF. Lauper's involvement with wrestling would lead to the Rock and Wrestling connection and more stars from entertainment appearing for the company, so it's fitting that one of the most popular women's wrestlers ever is playing such a significant individual. Last year, Stone Cold Steve Austin returned to the ring for his first match in 19 years and looked to be in phenomenal shape. After his performance, reports came out that WWE was hopeful for a second match by the Texas Rattlesnake, and while we can't say for certain it'll happen, Austin looks ready to go. On Instagram, Austin shared a video of himself working out in a hotel gym, and the former WWE champion is looking as jacked as ever. WWE wants Austin to compete at WrestleMania 39, but ultimately, it'll be Steve's decision to make. But the Bionic Redneck is looking ready for the ring as we approach WrestleMania. We've got some unfortunate news to report now, as WWE Hall of Famer superstar Billy Graham is dealing with a serious bone infection. On his Facebook page, Graham gave the unfortunate update, saying that the infection began in his ears that spread to his bones. Graham has unfortunately had several health issues over the years, including a liver transplant, heart problems, and a partial toe amputation, and we're wishing the former WWF heavyweight champion the best at this time. And we're ending today with The Undertaker, and since his final farewell in October of 2020, the legend has relished in getting to appear out of character and can be seen doing one-man shows a handful of times a year. For the past 2 years, the Phenom has enjoyed his retirement, but he can still dish out some punishment when called upon. While dining at a restaurant, The Undertaker was approached by a fan and asked to chop him, something the former WWE champion relished in doing. The dead man's chop sent the man to the ground, much to the delight of his friends who were watching, and we imagine the kitchen staff made sure his food was perfect, or risk facing a chop of his own.